All right, so this is a tutorial on how to manually sync BPM or tempo in Reaper. So if you ever used Reaper's, I guess, default tempo matching algorithm, you can realize that it's good for loops and small things that are very easy to kind of see the transients in, but once you start getting into actual tracks, the tempo matching algorithm kind of messes up and loses its footing and doesn't work too well. And so this way, we're going to learn how to manually do it using warping the track and then manually finding the tempo through that. So I'm going to import one of my own beats or one of my own tracks that's in my beat folder or my tracks folder that I do not actually know the tempo to. So let's just find one that might be a little bit easier. We'll go with this one because this one has a pretty standard beat. So first things first, make sure you import your track and have tempo match off because we need the full-on track. So this track is most likely not 120 beats per measure. Let's just play it and I can see. Yep, so if I play it, if I play my metronome next to it, you'll hear it. So as you can hear it, it's definitely off beat. It's not syncing up at all, even though it is starting properly on the beat. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen and try to get a 4-bar loop, which will be from here to here. And once we do that, we're just going to split it, and then we're going to go into the actual tempo matching from there. So I'm going to listen to the track and see where what would normally be here ends on this track. So let's just play it. All right, so that'd be right about here. So we're not too far off. So what you can do in Reaper is if you click on the actual track itself, I'm fat-handing the mouse pad. If you click on the track itself and press tab, it will snap you to any of the transients, which is super helpful for syncing tempo. Keep pressing tab until I get to the transient. So unfortunately, it doesn't get it perfectly because this is where the kick drum starts. And this is where the transient of that synth is. And so they're kind of overlapping. So I need to manually find it. And I'm just using my arrow keys to go back and forth. Okay, and once I'm there, I'm going to press S to split it and delete everything else. And now, holding my Alt key down, I'm going to click and drag the end of the track to go into bounds with the nearest measure or the nearest beat. So now this is a 4-bar loop, and if I play my metronome, it should be on time. All right, so that's on time, but it's too fast. So as you can see, it is 1.071% faster than the actual track. So what we need to do is we need to slow our actual tempo down, and we can do so by just clicking and then putting in a new number. So I'm going to put in 115. Oh, and we're a lot closer, so it's only 1.26. So now let's put 110, and now we're too low. So now we need to go up a little bit, so let's go 112, and there you go. So we've found the tempo, and as you can see, when you have found the tempo, the rate will either go back to 1, or if it's a decimal point, it will just round it up. So we can go back in here, press 1, boom, and now we are on time. So if we play it, so there you go. We have successfully found that this beat is 112 beats per measure, or that this track is 112 beats per measure. So now we can know that, and we don't have to worry about having to go put it in a different program or try to worry about whatever the tempo matching algorithm is doing. So let's do it with another one, and I'll show you the custom actions that I've set up. So let's just find one that is... So I will use this one, because this one has a fade in, and that'll be able to show the, that'll be able to show properly what I want to do. So this is a fade in. And as you can see, it's out of beat or out of tempo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for where the beat starts, and I think it's right about here. So I'm going to press tab. And now I have a few custom commands set up in Reaper, and I'll show you them right now. So the first one is to trim the track start. So what it does is it looks for the next transient from wherever I click, and it trims everything to the left of that, and then puts the beginning of the track to the start. And so if I press A, it should go to here, which is what I want it to do. Great. So if I go back, there you go. So I'll just quickly Command Z so you can see exactly what it did. Where's the transients? Boom. And there we go. So this action, I'm going to show my custom actions. This is whenever I press A. I've called it trim start. And all it does is it sets ripple editing to all tracks. I could just do it to the single track. I just do it to all tracks because usually whenever I'm looking for a tempo, there's only one track anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Then it moves the cursor to the next transient on just that item or in those items. And then it trims to the left of the cursor and then turns ripple editing off. So that way I don't have to worry about ripple editing being on and then making an edit that could, make everything else worse. Once we do that, we're just once again going to count 4 beats. Okay, and I got it right over here. Unfortunately, I don't think my next keyboard shortcut's going to work too well because, once again, I've messed with the transients on that kick, or the transients in that kick aren't very strong. But if I press Q, it's going to look for the next transient, it's going to cut and then delete everything to the right of it, and then it's going to stretch the transient to my time selection. I'll just try it out, see if that works. Yeah, so unfortunately, since the transient in that kick isn't too strong, we're going to have to do it manually, but it usually works. So once again, using my arrow keys. So I'm trying to look just for where that kick starts, and we can zoom in as much as we want. I think it's about right here, actually. Now I can hold Alt again, drag it, and there we go. So now if we play, you'll see that's too slow. And so what we have to do is go back in, and now we're too slow since our rate is not at 1, it's at 0.48. Always do is just increase our tempo. So I'll do it to 120. We're getting a lot closer. Let's go 122. Once again, getting a lot closer. 124. Oh, super close. 128. Too slow. 130. Still too slow. Let's go 135. Oh, so we're too fast now. 134. Too slow. 133. There we go. 132. So if I play it. And there we go. So that is a very easy way to find tempo in Reaper. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Other than that, have a great day.